Hello, everyone. How are you all tonight? I am so excited to bring this amazing event to you this evening. We are going to be talking about the fertility switch. It's 8 simple steps. So how to turn on your fertility promoting genes. And with me tonight, co-hosting this event, but really she's running the show because this is her forte, is the amazing Nita Ewald. You guys have probably seen her and I work together. I've had her on my fertility sessions webinars, and we've done a couple other masterclass and master series together. And she's just, very, very, very smart. I always learn when I work with her, so I'm excited for you all to learn. And I'm assuming most all of you know who I am, but just so you definitely know who I am, I'm Aimee Raupp. I am a women's health and fertility expert. I have been in the business of helping women reawaken their healthiest life so they can be as healthy as they want to be and get pregnant when they want to, for over 13 years. And it's my mission and my favorite thing in life to do is to empower all of you with the best pieces of knowledge that you can have so that you can optimize your health and ultimately your fertility. And putting on events like this is just, it lights me up. It's so fun. And I hope you all get so much out of tonight. So make sure you have notebooks and pens ready. And I'm going to turn it over to Nita, let her introduce herself, and then we'll get into these 8 simple steps.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here and so thankful for Amy to host this webinar, because I have a lot of information to share with you. I had fun putting all the slides together. And for those who don't know me yet, I'm, again, Nita Ewald. I am a fertility coach, so a holistic health coach and functional nutritionist. So I'm gonna talk about myself throughout the webinar and my story as to how or why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So, and I'm gonna share the slide. So I think this is gonna take about an hour and 10 minutes or so, and at the end we're gonna have the Q&A session. So save your questions at the very end, like Amy already said. Have your pen and just write down all the questions that you might have from what I'm gonna be presenting tonight.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, we're coming live on YouTube, so there's a chat box on the side as well, so you can type your questions in there, and I'll monitor those, and then that way I can get all those questions together. We're coming live on YouTube, so there's a chat box on the side as well, so you can type your questions in there. You guys are hearing me. Sorry. There we go. Okay. That was my YouTube. Literally, I just turned on my YouTube channel, and so all of a sudden you heard me echo. So anyway, yes, there's a comment section on the YouTube page, and you can comment there, or there, I guess, yeah, that's because you don't have a live chat set up right on the landing page for the video, right, Nita? You sent everyone to the YouTube. Yeah, so there's going to be questions in there, so you guys can just type in your questions and we will get to them for sure at the end.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay, so like Nita said, if you can start your screen share, Nita, and then I'll move it over to you once the slides are up. So Nita, she likes to do things in slideshows, and I think it's great because it's such a great way to see the information and then really absorb and take it in, and think it helps, the way her mind works too. So you really get the insight into her mind, which is a brilliant mind, and she has a lot of great information for you guys. And like I said, I always learn things from her, and so I'm excited for tonight myself, because things will come together for me too, and I really hope that this helps you all really empower you on your path to fertility and optimal health. So here we go. Okay. What pretty slides.
Yeah, can you see? Okay. Yeah. This is all right. So the fertility switch. 8 simple steps you can do to turn on your fertility promoting genes. So I create this webinar because, like Amy, I'm passionate about helping couples to reach their optimal health and their goal of carrying a child. And my goal for you is not just to have a baby, but healthy and happy baby. So
Yes,
I know, sorry, Amy?
I said, yes, that's my goal too. Love
My
that.
God, yes, it's not just a child, and in this day, day in this age, it's just so hard because we live such in a toxic world, and everybody live in a fast-paced life. So we're gonna talk about this in more in deeper. So I know what can happen to you when you are empowered and take the time to focus on preparing your body, mind, and soul for conception. So imagine what could happen if you get clarity of what might be preventing you from being able to conceive. That you absolutely have more control than you realize to overcome your fertility struggles. And when you're doing everything possible in your control, you also give your child the best chance of the healthiest possible life. So think about what all that would mean for you. So you are in the right place tonight if you've been trying to conceive for some time, either naturally or through assisted reproductive technology like IVF, but you still can't get pregnant. You are also in the right place if you have a miscarriage or 2 or more and you are devastated and don't know what to do. You are in the right place if you simply think of planning to have a baby in the next 12 months. You're also in the right place if you're willing to make any dietary and lifestyle changes to optimize your health and fertility. So before I go further, you might be wondering how I get here speaking to you about fertility. So I was born and raised in Indonesia with 3 younger sisters. When I was a child, I spent a lot of my days being sick, literally sick from viral infection after viral infection. I got sick too often and I missing a lot of school days and for a long period of time. So I was so sick of being sick. My grandfather was a medical doctor and he lived with my parents for a period of time. My uncle was also a medical doctor. So between my grandfather and my uncle, it's just so easy for my mother to get access to medication. So I was probably over medicated and nutrient deficient, so that I did not have a good immune system. So fast forwarded to after I graduated from college. I went to Japan to get my master's degree in chemistry. I met my husband there, who is American. He's from Colorado. And that's the reason I ended up living here in the US. And I worked for various pharmaceutical companies for years prior to having children. So I was in the late 30s when we were diagnosed with unexplained infertility after several years of trying to conceive. So I was confused why I couldn't get pregnant because I thought I lived a healthy life. We tried one round of IVF and it failed. And I got even more confused. So I'll share more about my fertility journey throughout the webinar, but the experience between my childhood frequent illness and combine that with my own struggle with fertility has led me to become a health coach and a functional nutritionist. So you see the same principles that I'm about to share with you tonight. I was able to conceive naturally at the age of almost 40. So I'm blessed with having two healthy sons now, biological and adopted. So Will, the right one, is now 14. I can't believe he's already 14 years old. Yes, so the second one's adopted because my husband was adopted. We always felt strong to adopt a baby. So my son is happy to talk openly about him being adopted. So yeah. All right. Before we go into the content, I always present this that what I'm going to be present here is just for educational purpose only. So the information that I share here is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition. And I advise you to seek medical advice, or if you seek medical advice, to speak with a licensed healthcare professional. So what you're going to be learning tonight is about epigenetic connection. I always love to talk about epigenetic and how your body, mind, and soul talk to your genes, and then how you can prime your body with fertility foods and that turn on your fertility genes in order to create the perfect vessel for conception. And you're also going to learn about how toxins deplete your ability to conceive and decrease your child's risk of suffering from autism and chronic illness. And I'm going to share some simple mindfulness practice that prove this is evidence-based, that when you just do this, it's 1 minute that you can turn off 1,200 stress reducing genes.
Wow.
Yes, it's amazing, and it's been used by executives. So it's been used widely in with companies. Like executives, before they start working, they gather together and in the group and using that. Then they notice increased productivity and decreased conflicts. And yes, share that in a minute. So epigenetic. Before we talk about epigenetic, let's talk about gene first. I think everybody know what gene is, and we're all born with a certain genetic code, and your genes or DNA are your blueprint. You can't change that. And the genes that I'm referring throughout the webinar today is not about your identification. It's not about you having brown eyes or blue eyes or black hair or blonde hair and fair skin complexions, because that can be changed. It can't you just can't change that. So the genes that I'm referring here are genes that are related to your health. Let's see. Oh, so epi, the word epi means beyond or above. So a change in your genetic activity without changing your genetic code, that's epigenetic.
Yes.
So the science of epigenetic is originated by the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton. He's a stem cell biologist. I love his book. What is that?
What's it called? The something gene.
Biology of Belief.
Biology of Belief, which is a great book. I read that from my book. He's brilliant. He's a smart man. Love it.
Yeah. So what he was doing, back when he was doing research with cloning stem cells, so he was able to clone, I think it's about like 50,000 cells. So these cells, the one in the middle, have genes that are completely identical, genetically identical. And then he divided the cells into 3 different petri dish with 3 different medium. So I think one medium represent like bone, the one in the middle represent muscle, and the one on the right represent fat. So 3 different medium all have results of cells that were expressing differently depending on the environment, even though the genes are completely identical. So from that research, they learned that we do have the power to control the environment in us in order to get the desired outcome. Because your genes are the blueprints, but you are the architect. You can control how you want your genes expressed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going to learn today. So before we go further talk about epigenetic, I want to talk about methylations, because we can't talk about epigenetic without talking about methylation. So what is methylation? Methyl group, you see here, consists of one carbon atom and 3 hydrogen atoms. So methylation occurs either by adding one methyl group to a compound or exchange that functional group, another functional group with methyl group. So it's always methyl group involved. So this is from a book called Methyl Magic: Maximum Health Through Methylation by Craig Cooney. That methylation occurs 1 billion times a second throughout the body, affecting everything from fetal development to brain function. It regulates the expression of genes, it preserves the fatty membranes that insulate our cells, and it helps regulate the actions of various hormones and neurotransmitters, including serotonin, melatonin, dopamine, and adrenaline. So it's huge, the function of this methylation. So again, methylation, turning genes on and off. So that's the genetic expressions. This is the epigenetic, building the help building the immune cells, help processing hormones, also help producing energy and detox. We're gonna talk about this tonight also. Building neurotransmitters, we already mentioned earlier, and then producing protective coating on nerve. So this is all the function of methylation, including building and repair DNA. So if you under-methylated, it, all these functions definitely affected. So I don't know if you heard about agouti mice. They carry a particular gene called agouti gene, and this agouti gene make these mice prone to cancer and diabetes. So back in the year of 2000, Professor Randy Girdle from Duke University was running an experiment using agouti mice. So the one on the right, so these mice have genes that are completely identical. So they typically look like the one on the left, which is yellow and fat. So when the mother given a normal diet, of course, the baby look like the one on the left, because that's how they're supposed to look like. So when the mother are given a diet that rich in methyl donors, such as folic acid, betaine, vitamin B12, choline. So this is basically prenatal.
Yes.
So it's like what women take. Yeah. So the mice were slim and brown. It to me is really, really interesting, and you can see the gene expression by the food that you eat.
Yeah.
You can see that a human, right? So like, I don't know what changed, what color, but so that is really empowering. So this study done in Gambia, Africa, very recent, 2014, is similar. It's done on 167 pregnant women. And there's two different groups. 83 women that conceived during season and 84 women conceived during rainy season. So I think the rainy season, you have more vegetations, you have more fruits and vegetables. So those women had significantly higher level of nutrients in their blood in the early pregnancy, than, meaning that they all have higher methylation rate. And they also observe the children up to 2 years old, which they tested the blood and hair follicle samples. And higher rates of methyl groups were present in 6 genes for the group of women that conceived during rainy season. This is this is so amazing that that your how you live your life controls your genes. So basically, I think this is the conclusion, that the results represent the first demonstration in humans that a mother's nutritional well-being at the time of conception can change how her child's gene will be interpreted with a lifelong impact. So the mother's diet before conception can permanently affect the child's genes function. Isn't it empowering, that we have a full control to do this?
It's amazing.
The gene on and off, really. So how can we turn our fertility switch? So then this is when I get into the 8 simple steps that you can do to turn on your fertility promoting genes. Fertility switch number 8, reduce sugar consumption. The US dietary recommendation is 32 grams of sugar. That's everything, good and bad. So the good means, that comes from your fruits, that equals to 8 teaspoons. I recommend 20 grams. 32 grams, I think, still too high. So based on the 32 grams, annual consumptions equal to a little over 11,000 grams. And according to the FDA, the average American diet is 130 pounds sugar per year.
That's crazy.
almost 59 grams. That's like more than 5 times. Yeah. That's the average. So just to give you a perspective of the average sugar consumption, so I put together this kind of like what you eat for breakfast, lunch, and then snack and dinner. That relatively healthy. What people think is healthy. So if you have kasha, mountain medley, that's cereal, have 10 grams. Then you eat mixed salad with cranberries and dressing for lunch. And you grab a bottle of Snapple lemon tea, which is have like 36 grams sugar. That's more than what the daily recommended consumption of sugar. And then in the afternoon, I'll just grab a little bar, cherry pie bar for snack that has 23 grams of sugar. In dinner, let's just eat healthy. Just have a roasted chicken and half a sweet potato. But I want to have a little ice cream, half a cup of Ben and Jerry. Look at how much sugar in that. 170 grams.
Can I interject real fast? Because what about the fact that the Larabar is dates versus actual added sugar? Because I talk to my clients about the difference between the added sugar and the naturally occurring sugars.
Yeah. Right. But it's still, like the total, but when you put together, it's just like, oh my God, there's 70 grams. And again, the daily allowable is about 30 something grams. For me, 20 grams.
I say 15 of added sugar, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't count the Larabar like in my practice, because I would say, okay, well, that's not added sugar, right?
Right.
But the dried cranberries for sure, I don't right. I mean, we're totally on the same page, of course, but
Yes, we are. We are. And you know what? Yeah, and then some people are like, well, let's just grab frappuccino. That's like 60
No, yeah, it's crazy.
some grams of sugar, plus all the other nasty stuff in there, So that's just to put things in perspective on how much sugar consumption. So it's just for you to be aware when you pick something up, is this what kind of sugar? Is this added sugar, or that, like Amy said, if it's from dates or
I mean, even that, right? You should still limit it, but yeah, of course, like just I would avoid everything at Starbucks basically, besides like just the plain old coffee. But even that, right? It's not even organic coffee. They launched that unicorn thing today. Someone was telling me about it. It has like almost 60 grams of sugar in one serving.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Really. And this is one thing that my kids also, hey, how much sugar they already have that, so remember, tonight you're not going to have dessert because you already purchased this and add the amount of sugar in it, and they understand.
But I get what you're saying too here, because this is like appearing to be like a healthy diet, right? Like someone will come into my clinic and be like, I eat really healthy. This is what I eat, right? And then there's still, I always tell the story of like a woman comes in and she was, telling me how healthy she ate, and she was drinking a vitamin water. And I said to her, tell me how many grams of sugar are in that right now. And she was like, oh, only 8. And I said, how many servings? Oh my goodness, it's 2.5 servings in one bottle. And it's like, exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
So great point. Yeah, sugar is evil for sure.
Yeah, sugar is sugar. Like again, yeah. But when my family traveling for spring break and we shopped together, and my kids wanted to grab this flavor Pellegrino water. It's like, oh, Pellegrino, because we always drink Pellegrino, but just the plain water.
Right.
And then this is like, oh, mom, this is the flavor I want it. Just like, look how much sugar in it. Can check how sugar, like 50 something gram. Really? I said, like, you don't need that much sugar.
Yeah.
So just to be aware, like just have that awareness of how much sugar in this meal that I eat, or snack that I grab, or drink that I just purchase. It's good to have that awareness. So, and how this sugar is impacting you. It's empty calorie, deplete minerals, and feed your candida, and definitely affecting your endocrine system, which is includes the hormonal balance, and it's hard on the liver, it's hard on the immune system, and affecting your mood. This neurotransmitter, definitely affecting the blood sugar level and the body's pH balance because it's acidic. So just to give an example of how sugar deplete your minerals, this is how 1 molecule of sugar requires 56 molecules of magnesium. That's how a lot of people are depleted in magnesium. And this is from the book of Dr. Natasha Campbell. And magnesium is widely used in a lot of the biochemistry path in our body. And when you deplete in magnesium, because it's needed when you consume sugar, then yes, definitely affect your biochemistry process. So fertility switch number 7, load up
and
fertility food. So think about all the
Nita, you dropped off for about, I don't know, maybe 45 seconds. So repeat whatever you had just said.
Fertility
yeah.
Number 7. Okay.
Start this slide over, basically.
Okay. So the fertility switch number 7 is load up on fertility food. So these are food that are loaded with methyl group, so methyl donor. So the dark leafy greens is just a great source of your folate. Don't take folic acid.
There we go. Make sure, because that slide in the beginning said folic acid, and like with the mice, right? Because so they
Yes.
gave the mice folic though, right? Not folate,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. I'm not. Some people just use folic acid and folate interchangeably, and it's not
It's
interchangeable.
not exactly. So clarify that. Go into that because I think it's so important for everyone to know.
Yes. So folate are naturally occurring compound from the leafy green and a lot of other vegetables, and folic acid is synthetic, and it is even more important if you have gene mutation like MTHFR, because your body have reduced ability to convert folate into methylfolate. Again, it's this the word methyl, and it's compete um, with the receptor of the folate. It's the same receptor. So what happened if you take folic acid? It's just going to block the receptor for folate. So your folate can't go into the cell, and then as a result, you're just going to be depleted in your folate. So just in general, avoid anything with folic acid. Unfortunately, folic acid is also abundantly present in processed food, from flour, anything, from bread. You read label as folic acid. So if you can avoid it, and any times, just avoid it, just consume it folate. So yes, eat organic fruits and vegetables. Organic is important, and I'll show you some data later here that why eating organic is important. And if you can afford to eat everything organic, definitely eat or avoid the dirty dozen. And I'll go into that in a minute here. So the 2017 list of dirty dozen is already out. So that's important to eat all those 12 organic. And also eat minimally processed food without additives and preservative. Avoid anything, with additive and preservative. Omega-3 fatty acid that comes from wild salmon and sardine and black cod. I would avoid big fish because that tend to have high mercury, like tuna. So another source of omega-3 is also walnuts, almonds, and macadamia, and freshly ground flaxseed. And eat animal protein that are grass fed or pasture fed without growth hormone and antibiotic. And again, why it's important to avoid this growth hormone? It's just you're going to be have excess of estrogen, which I will talk about it as well in a minute. And healthy fats, eat a bunch of avocado, coconut oil, butter, ghee, nuts, and seed. Those are all good, and it's all methyl donor. Okay, and this is a study that were done on 250 men. I'll pick men in here because when we talk about fertility, people we tend to focus on women, but in fact, studies show that it also, that men contribute to about 40% of the fertility challenges. So this study is done on 250 men who went through IVF with their partners, and they observe the diet and the lifestyle. And the negative finding, it's interesting how the sperm is definitely affected when you overweight. When the men overweight and drink alcohol regularly and smoke and consuming alcohol and coffee, eating meat, maybe just I think red meat is good as long as it's pasture fat and you don't consume it too much, because I do believe that we need animal protein.
Me too.
Yes, so that is
It's
in
the quality of the animal protein. That's what's important. And all those studies that have been done on animal protein being negative are done on these, factory farm raised animal products. So keep that in mind.
yeah, or fed with the GMO food. And
Yeah, exactly. They're fed terrible foods and diets, and they're not raised the way they're supposed to. So of course they have negative outcomes. But pasture raised, properly farmed animal products are very good for you.
yes, I believe that too. So all this man has basically bad lifestyle and don't eat well. Their sperm have good, bad quality, poor sperm motility, and then also lower implantation and pregnancy rates, and basically reduce change of fertilization. And on the other hand, the positive finding is if the men eat healthier in general, whole grain cereal and consuming fresh fruits. Again, this is metal donor. They sperm have higher speed and agility, and overall are much better. So again, that is evidence that your diet have a huge impact on the eggs and the sperm.
Yes.
Fertility switch number 6. Love your liver. I love talk about liver. And I think liver is one of the most underappreciated organ in our body. We only have one, so just love our liver, please. Because we live in a world where our diets revolve around highly packaged and processed, convenient foods that are basically devoid of nutrients, and we surround ourselves with personal care products that are full of toxic chemicals. So I don't want to go too much into the details about detoxification path, because this is a topic on its own for webinar, which I've done with Amy last year. So just want to give you an idea what involves in the detoxification process in your liver. So it's basically 2 phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Your toxins always, most toxins soluble in fat, and has to be converted into water soluble in order to be excreted from your body in the form of stool or urine. So in more detail diagram here, what happened in each of the phase. So in phase 1, oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis, all this reaction happened basically to convert the fat soluble toxin to become more water soluble. And united on the bottom, so all the nutrients that needed in order for the conversion to happen. All the vitamin, the vitamin Bs, again, it says folic acid, it is folate, glutathione, flavonoids. And then so the one in the middle is an intermediary metabolism, and that converted further in phase 2 to completely become water soluble. But pay attention to all the nutrients needed in order for the detoxification to take place. A lot of antioxidant, because when it's after going through phase 1, a lot of these molecules become reactive. So this is when oxidative stress also can happen. So you need the antioxidants in here. You need the glutathione. Look at the magnesium. So a lot of enzymatic reaction in here. So let's look at the phase 1, cytochrome P450. I'm going to mention that about that when we talk about estrogen metabolism, which also happen in liver. So then it will be eliminated in the form of urine, bile, and stool. And 95% of the bile can be reabsorbed to the liver. So this reabsorption can be a major problem when dealing with chemicals, toxic metals, drugs, and hormones like estrogens, the chemical estrogens, which I'm going to be talking also. I think it's the next slide. No, not next yet. So imagine your body has as a barrel where have a big opening on top with so many chemicals that you're exposed to. And your liver is the spigot on the bottom there. So small, but yet has to process that many chemicals. It's not just chemicals, your estrogen too, your drugs, or your coffee, your alcohol. So there are over 85,000 chemicals registered for use in commerce, and about, I think, almost 11,000 of them are used in the cosmetics industry. And here in the US, only a handful that's been banned or restricted by the FDA. The European Union has banned, I think it's about 1,400 ingredients from cosmetics. So they have definitely more stricter rule than we are. So we do need to be more proactive in knowing what we put on our body, because the law is just not in favor for us. Just so when we don't control the exposure to the environmental toxin on the daily basis, then our liver won't be able to keep it up.
A stat that I always say is that the average woman is exposed to 500 chemicals before she leaves her house in the morning.
Yeah, isn't that scary?
It's very scary. And especially like from Nita and my perspective, like we're these science geeks, and so we do all the research. And when you read these research papers and you see the correlation between disease states or just in general inflammation in the body and these certain chemicals, or even how they affect babies in utero, it's so frightening. I would never touch them again. It's, you know.
Yes. And I'll share some of the data too tonight, how it relates to your impact to get pregnant. So it definitely impacted to our fertility. So, but again, I did mention a little bit about MTHFR gene mutations. So that's another topic on its own for another webinar. But 50% of the world population have this gene mutation. So MTHFR gene produce MTHFR enzyme, and the role is to methylate your folate, because your folate is not going to be utilized until it's converted into methylfolates. Again, this methyl group, and we talk about methylation. So hope you get familiar with listening to this methyl group. So, and then what are you going to do with that? So you really need to pay attention to how your body is able to detox, or less ability to detox when you have this mutation. So what can you do to love your liver? Just reduce the toxic body burden, which come through ingestion, through absorption, and through inhalation. Some of the environmental toxin we can't have control of, like what we can inhale and what not. But a lot of them, yes, we have the control to use less of them. So there's so many of them. I just name some examples in here. Pesticides, that's why it's important to eat organic. Plastics in the kitchen, which come into, from BPA and phthalates. Mercury in fish. And animal protein cooked at high temperature, because that produce PAH, polyaromatic hydrocarbon, which is toxic to the body. So recommended to cook your meat at lower temperature, especially when you grill. That's just high, and then you have that charcoal. So just.
Can I ask, this is an aside, but because people ask me, I would love your opinion. What do you think about smoking meats?
Again, it's how I think it's the temperature.
So temperature, and then also what you use, because you can use like wood chips versus charcoal, things like that.
Right. Yeah.
So you
So
want the temperature like below 300, would you say?
below 250.
Below 250?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. 250.
See, guys, I learn stuff from Nita all the time. That's why I like to do these things with her.
And then the toxic chemicals that come through absorption, definitely personal care product containing parabens and phthalates, and you would never see phthalates in the ingredient list because that is just one of the ingredients for, or what if that's what they use in fragrance, perfume. So if it's smell good, that definitely has phthalates in it, unless it only listed essential oils in there. So inhalation, what come through inhalation, a lot, really a lot, and this is one of the things that we can always avoid. Like the furniture has flame retardant, or the carpet is outgassing all the time, like toxic chemicals. So we do what we can do, like I know we have control over what we can use as a laundry detergent and cleaners, and things like that. Don't have like scented candles that make from chemicals. So that's how we can love the liver, by reducing toxic body burden. And then the next one is to support. This is what is important: to support your body's natural detox process nutritionally with antioxidant, vitamins, and minerals that's in the food. And I just named some example here. This is actually the produce that you can use, or the methyl rich food that can be used in phase 2 of the detox: beetroot, beet greens, artichoke, all berries, citrus fruits, vegetables. And I know some people that have thyroid problems. It's like, oh, I can't eat cruciferous vegetables. If you cook that, because you still need it for detox, because if you cook it, you reduce significantly, you reduce the goitrogen thing in there. Onion, garlic, polyphenols, which is from black and green tea. That's just to name a few. So the study of, I'm moving too fast. So this is a study that is done by Red Cross and EWG back in 2005 on like newborn that have average of almost 300 synthetic chemicals. They were not even they just come out of the world, and this is an umbilical cord. They haven't really exposed to anything, so the exposure comes through the mothers. So 180 can cause cancer in humans or animals. 270 are toxic to the brain and nervous system, and 208 can cause birth defects. So again, this is why it's important for mothers to reduce the toxic chemicals before conception, because they get passed on to the baby. The autism rate is just been increasing, and this diagram, the chart, shows how the rate is, I don't think this coincides, but it's in agreement with the rate of the chemical productions over the years. So look like around the year of 2000, how much how much the increase of the autism rate. So it is important to reduce your toxic exposure. And some example here on pesticide, the effect on pesticide on male fertility. So the study is done on 15 mostly used pesticide, And see that sentence in the middle basically says that pesticide exposure damages spermatozoa. So, and this is a toxic effect on phthalates and parabens. And there's I guess somewhere in the middle, phthalates have been associated with a number of serious health problems, including infertility. All right. Oops. Sorry. A couple more examples of study done at University of Calgary on fish on BPA free. So I want to talk about this a little bit.
Yes, definitely talk about that.
As long as it's still plastic,
It's still plastic. Right, exactly.
Even though it says BPA free, this is just marketing. It says like BPA free, so plastic that makes from BPS. And this study shows that BPS disrupts multiple hormone pathways and abnormalities in heart rhythm. So avoid plastic and in any rates, and drinking, especially if you store like acidic, it'll definitely will the BPA or BPS will leach into your tomato if you store that. So another study is also done at Virginia Maryland College of Veterinary Medicine on mice on exposure to household cleaning and disinfectant. I think this is just a common household cleaning, but they that contain the ammonium, and the results is they have declines in reproductive performance and fewer offspring and 40% of death during late pregnancy and delivery. So this is just a few examples of how important it is to reduce your toxic exposure. So to me, before we talk about estrogen dominance, so detox is not about going on the juice fast for 10 days or doing certain detox process. Is or then after detoxing you just eat back to eating whatever you want. But detox is about reducing that toxic loads daily and supporting the liver with vitamins and minerals from whole foods and supplements so your liver can do its job. So I do highly recommend doing the detox the right way by supporting the liver and then reducing the toxic load 4 to 6 months before conception. We talk about plastic. So plastic release estrogenic activity. So they're chemical estrogen, basically. They mimic estrogen, and our body can't tell the difference between the real estrogen and the chemical estrogens. So as a result, you have hormonal imbalance, you have estrogen dominance. So if you have endometriosis, uterine fibroids, PCOS, endometrial cancer, ovarian cancer, all of this, menopausal, that is the sign of you being estrogen dominant. And your estrogen is also metabolized in the liver. And when I work with clients with symptom of this, estrogen being estrogen dominance, it's really interesting to see the correlation between their case and their genetic profile from the 23andMe data, because when they have a certain gene mutation, I think I mentioned about the cytochrome 450, all of those enzyme in the liver have a role of metabolizing your estrogens. So it's interesting to see like, oh yes, you have this gene mutation, so you can't metabolize your estrogen efficiently. That's even more important to reduce the toxic load to this chemical estrogen. So endocrine disruptors, that's what they call, disrupt your hormonal system. All right. And this is just some references that you can find in the environmental working group website, ewg.org. Without ewg, I don't know what to do. I'll get lost because I find so much information in there that I just keep going back. And some of this app you can download on your iPhone. So I mentioned about 2070 Dirty Dozen. So that's already out, I think, last month. And they have a list of Dirty Dozen list of endocrine disruptors. So that's from your cookware to pesticide. So you can learn more about it there because I can't cover everything in the amount of time that we're gonna spend tonight. And there's also sunscreen. So a lot of toxic chemical in sunscreen. So check out the resource in EWG. Fertility switch number 5, love your gut. So about 70% to 80% of your immune system is in the gut. Do you have food sensitivity or food intolerance? Do you have SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth? Do you take, how often do you take antibiotics? Do you eat GMO foods? And are you constipated? All of this is really important for your gut. So eliminate inflammatory food. I just list what's commonly, this is a common food that people are intolerant to, but not limited to this. Some people have more things depending on whether or not you have leaky gut. So wheat, gluten, dairy, soy, egg, corn, and peanuts are just like common food that people are sensitive to. So eliminate those because it impact your immune system. And you take probiotics and fermented food. It's all good for the gut. And again, though, some people might be sensitive to histamine containing food that might not be able to take fermented food. So it's by your individual. You just have to listen to your body, how you feel when you eat certain food. Definitely GMO-free food, because the glyphosate can cause leaky gut. So that's been studied. And have high fiber food, vegetables, high fiber food. I sometimes I can't believe when, we should have bowel movement at least once a day. So if you only go every 3 days, there's something not right. You need to have more high fiber food. Fertility switch number 4, clear emotional clutter. So frustration, disappointment, confusion, overwhelm, despair. I have been there, so I totally understand your feelings. I like these diagrams. I took this from one of the book of Dr. Joe Dispenza. I think is you're not your. I think it's about the placebo. You're not your placebo.
Yeah,
something like
he's great. He's
not
good.
your placebo. I think something like that. So thinking the same thoughts lead us to make the same choices. Making the same choices lead us to demonstrating the same behaviors. Demonstrating the same behaviors lead us to create the same experiences, and creating the same experiences lead us to produce the same emotions. And those emotions then drive the same thoughts. So it's a cycle. So if you don't change the way you think, you're going to experience the same reality all over again, because it's a vicious cycle. So again, your same thoughts create the same reality, and we have about 60,000 or 70,000 thoughts per day, and 90% of those thoughts are exactly the same ones we had the day before. So if you don't change your thoughts, you end up feeling the same every day. And this your emotion will affect your body. And I'm going to talk about this mind and body connection. When you are in an emotional roller coaster, your body is in the fight or flight mode, and that suppresses the fertility function that you can get pregnant. So how can you clear emotional clutter? Several ways. I think you've heard the EFT, emotional freedom technique, that Sarah Holland is master of.
I love that. Yeah.
I know I'm not the master of that, although I know how to do it. But I love this simple Sedona method. When you have a feeling, like, what am I feeling now around my fertility? Just 5 steps. Could I welcome or allow it? Could I let it go? Would I let it go? And when I will let it go, if you need to let it go. So, and then when it's come to when, you can just visualize it, that you put in the trash bag and you just throw it away. So it's kind of like a meditative. You have to aware of your feeling first when you do this. Is mindfulness and both visualization. So let's see. Positive affirmations. I know Amy is big about affirmations, and
Yes.
yes, so
yes, you can get pregnant.
yes, I was gonna say that. Guided visualization. So let's talk about the brain a little bit. Your brain is so powerful. It is made out of about 100 billions of nerve cells called neurons. And one of the most basic principles in neuroscience is neurons that fire together wire together. So you can kind of like imagine a rope. So the more, the thicker it gets, the stronger it becomes. So when you learn new things or have new experiences in life, then your brain started to fire in different patterns to create what is called new synaptic connections. If you can Google, or not Google, YouTube, like brain synaptic connection, it's just, you can find a lot of video out there. It's very interesting. And then the more you do it, the stronger the new synaptic connections it becomes. So repetition is the key. That's why, like when you have positive affirmation, you just have to keep doing it, say it over and over. This new experience, it becomes new habit. So that's why, again, positive affirmation and guided visualization and meditation are so powerful as long as you do it routinely. So as your brain make these changes, it produces various chemicals called neurotransmitters. You heard about neurotransmitters earlier, such dopamine or serotonin. And when the body sends these pleasure chemicals, it make the body to be more receptive to conception. So your body kind of like recondition and be more receptive to conceptions. So when you change the belief or perception, that's what happens. You signal the brain to adjust the function of the cell in the body. And then what? The body start talking to your genes, and then again, you get your fertility promoting gene turned on. So you see how powerful your brain is, but you are more powerful because you can choose which thoughts you want to feed your brain with. This is a study that's a mind and body program. Again, this is the same concept that's done for
I love Alice Omar. Love her.
Yeah. So 54 women, and they've done this mind body program. After completing for 6 months, the rate increased. The success rate of the program increased by 34%. So they reduce the stress, have that mind-body connection. Boom. Yes, your ability to get pregnancy increase. And that leads to fertility switch number 3. Pursue de-stressors. So in addition to changing your thoughts, what can you do to bring more joy in your life? So when I had my fertility challenges, one of the things that was calling me was yoga. So my job at one of the pharmaceutical company at that time was very stressful, and that I needed to do something to manage my stress. Although at that time I did not know that was the root cause of my fertility struggle. So, but I started doing yoga, and it's not the Indian yoga that most people are familiar with. Is a Korean style yoga. So it's called Dan yoga, which means a study of energy. So, and I learned to meditate too, and I became addicted to doing yoga because I like I like the experience that the effect on me, which bring me so much joy. And I was so relaxed, and I totally forgot about my fertility issue. That was, it completely, it was not in my mind until like 9 months, doing all the yoga and meditation. My husband and I just talk about, hey, it's time to try again. And I thought we only can get pregnant through IVF. So we had all the supplies, we had the appointment set up, but that weekend I had returned from a yoga retreat. And the following morning on Monday, in my meditation, I heard a voice telling me to cancel my IVF, to try to conceive on our own. But in the meantime, we're supposed to be in a doctor's office for the first step of procedure on that Wednesday. So I canceled that because this voice in my meditation is really profound. So I listened to it. I told my husband, and of course my husband looked at me like I have two hats. Like, we've been trying for years and we had one fail IVF, and you telling me that we can try on our own. So we did. 2 weeks later, we were pregnant.
That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew this story, but I love it.
Yes. So the point I want to make it here is, for whatever, do whatever you can to take your mind off your fertility struggles and just increase the joy in your life. It could be exercising that you can enjoy, walking in nature, practicing daily gratitude, or pursuing yoga like me. And because there's so many different type of yoga. So because I heard people sometimes like, oh, I don't like it, but it's all depend on the class, depends on the teacher. So I suggest try different things until you can find one that you really like and can do routinely, so you can create those strong synaptic connections. Remember, when you make a change, you want to do it, keep doing it, so it can become a new habit. So fertility switch number 2, slow down. This is what I always recommend people: slow down and find daily solitude practice that you can do, because we live in such a fast-paced life and a lot of demand. And unfortunately, also, we live in a society that measures our value and productivity by how busy we are. If we're not doing anything, we're lazy. But when we slow down and practice daily solitude, you are able to connect to your true self, to the divine within you. And just, by allowing practice such as meditation, learning to be still. And again, when I look back to my fertility challenges, I'm so grateful that I learned how to meditate, because in stillness and in silence, I was able to listen to that voice within me. So when I shifted the masculine energy of, make it happen now, just through IVF, shifted that to the feminine energy of just allowing it to happen, and just through the practice of yoga and meditation, and that when a miracle occurred. And this is just a study done by Harvard neuroscientists on 16 people on doing meditation and mindfulness practice. After 8 weeks, an average of just 27 minutes, the brain changed. So you see that before meditation and then half after meditation. So yeah, you don't need a long meditation. So this is fertility switch number 1: trust. And trust yourself, trust that true self, trust the process, trust the universe. I was actually listening to the Oprah and Deepak meditation that's going on right now. That's what I'm going to be using for the program that I'm going to be mentioned. Hope in uncertain times meditation. Oprah said that when you trust yourself, you listen and believe the part of you that knows that you can. The key to trust is going within, following your intuition, and facing the unknown. Even though you can't control the unknown, you can control what you believe. So your belief determines what you manifest in your life. So believe that you can get pregnant. So again, 8 step to turn on your fertility switch that we just covered, from reducing your sugar intake, load up your fertility food, love your liver, love your gut, clear emotional clutter, pursue the stressor, slow down, and trust. So the positive changes you make to your diet and lifestyle before you get pregnant, as you see some data that I show you tonight, will have one reaching effect. What you do before conception can change the health of your future children and even their children as well. So I know that if you implement just maybe 3-4 things that we talk about today, you will increase the likelihood of getting pregnant and having a healthier child. And when I work with clients, I go deeper than I was able today to cover everything. So earlier I promised that I would share you how can you take this further. So if what we talk about today resonates with you and you're ready to turn on your health promoting genes, your fertility promoting genes, and pass those on to your child, I have a special invitation for you. So I would like to invite you to join me for my upcoming Jumpstart Your Health and Fertility program. It's I forgot about, I already mentioned about this, basically about
that. I love that though, how you always say that. The genetics load the gun, the environment pulls the trigger.
Yeah, so you have the genetics already, you load the gun and the environment pulls the trigger. Your genes are not your destiny. Your personal outlook, your mindset, your lifestyle, and dietary choice that determine how your genes are expressed, as well as those of your children. So so this is the program that I would like to invite you. You'll be able to turn on your fertility switch, as we discussed earlier, from eliminating inflammatory foods, reducing exposure to environmental toxins, as well as meditating. So it comes with guidebook and meal plans and recipe. You have daily protocol, workbook, and toxin reduction calls, and then include 3 live calls throughout the program. Actually, it is 21 days, but my support is for one more week, so total of 28 days. And that you get daily support on the closed Facebook group. So week 1 is basically preparation. So you already eliminate refined food. You still can eat animal protein. And then on the toxin reduction portion, we focus on the kitchen. So, and then week 2, we're gonna alkalize the body a little bit deeper, just eliminate animal protein for just 1 week. And then we focus on toxin reductions on the cleaning supplies. And then week 3, we're gonna add the food back one by one, just to increase awareness of whether or not you do have food intolerance or sensitivity, and we focus toxin reductions in your personal care products. So, and the bonus here is you'll get, I think I already mentioned the 21-day meditation by Oprah and Deepak, Hope in Uncertain Times. It's beautiful, really beautiful.
Oh my God, I'm loving it so much. I'm in the middle of it. I love it. Like,
gosh, yes.
love it. I'm on day 8, I think. Day 9. I think I'm a couple days behind, but oh my God, I'm loving it. It is so
Yes.
good. It is so good.
It's so good. It is so good. I'm doing that too. So, and then my friend Lisa will offer a free class on utilizing essential oils for emotional balance while trying to conceive. And you'll get free 15-ounce organic virgin coconut oil from the Thrive Market with 30-day free membership trial. So actually a lot of the items that you're going to be using in this program can be purchased through Thrive Market as much discounted price, 25% to 50% off. So this is really a good deal. If for those who don't know what Thrive Market is, I would describe it as kind of like a marriage between Whole Food and Costco. So you get good quality, a lot of organic product in there at discounted price. I shop there, not every month, every other month, and over the year I probably save about $300 to $400 total. And also more bonus from Amy, 30% off for all beauty product plus free hand cream if you have $100 over $100 purchase. So your investment is $247, but if you register now, you can save $60 using this coupon only for the next 24 hours, only for this audience. Nurture now. So you got 4 hours, and this begins May 1st.
Okay, that's great.
Yep. And this is the link, nurturewithnita.com/spring cleanse, or you can also go to my website, Nurture with Nita, and there's a page, I think events. I posted in there, so you can find the link in there also. But yes, use this coupon code Nurture Now for the next 24 hours. I included 2 testimonials here, and you can find these testimonials on the sales page as well. But let me just share a story about Lisa. Lisa, she had 5 losses, 4 miscarriages, and 1 stillbirth at 28-week gestation, really. So after all those 5 losses, she'll find out that she has homozygous MTHFR. So for homozygous means from both parents. So she inherited that from both parents. And she also had thrombophilia, so clotting factors. But she approached me and to do this 21-day jumpstart. What happened was they had like over 10 IUIs because her husband has antibody, I think anti-sperm antibody, so the autoimmune condition, so they had to always do IUI. After she did this program, they were not planning to get pregnant right away. In fact, they were actually pursuing adoptions because she was just so emotionally wrecked, basically. She's all those losses. Yeah, so just like, okay, let's just take a break. And they're just gonna like, oh, let's do adoptions. I can't really take this for now. They were actually pregnant naturally.
Love it. Love it.
So her baby's now 9 months old, and beautiful baby girl, Margaret Claire. So I love to share her story because there's hope. After all those losses, and she did this simple method and simple cleanse, and but she really put her energy into it, and she got pregnant. So that is the presentation. Let me.
I love it. Here, I'll come back.
And,
Wow, that was so good. Yeah, for those of you who are still on and contemplating, I think it's a real minor investment for major changes in your life and your health and your fertility. And I wouldn't bring Nita on if I didn't trust her and believe in her capabilities to help you. And, you know, she teaches me stuff all the time. Like I said, her knowledge is outstanding and she's helping women all the time optimize their health and their fertility. So,
and I want to share again. I want to share.
Hit stop screen share so we can see your pretty face.
Okay. Yep.
I'll wait till she comes back. I can see.
Oh, where's the okay, here.
Up in the top. Yeah.
Yes. Hey, I'm back.
There she is. Go ahead now. There you are. Great presentation. Thank you so much.
I did mention that I want to share really simple 1 minute exercise that you can do every hour, and that reduce 1,200 stress reducing genes. And you probably think like, yes, that, you know, it's when I learned this, I that's my reactions. But I've been doing this, you know, because especially for those who work in front of a computer, you sit a lot, and I've been writing a lot. Do yawning. You can do fake yawning. Just do yawning. You know, 2, 3, 4. You know, like fake yawning, and then after that, slow stretching. Just move your neck, and it's very slowly, really slow. And that, after that, that's the yawning. Relax your mind. The stretching, relax your body.
That's good.
Yeah, and do it very slowly. And after that, you can daydream for about 30 seconds.
About your baby.
Daydream, like whatever in the past that, you know, make you happy, make you pleasant. All of that is the mind and body that the you know, the brain will signal dopamine into your body every hour. Just do it every hour. I have an app on my iPhone. You can Google, I think, mindfulness clock.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's simple. Yes. There you go.
I'm going to pull up. There are a couple questions. I'm going to pull them up. So, sorry, let me just get to the top. What's going on here? Why is it not letting me go to the top? I want to go to the top. Okay, so there was one about polycarbon PC. What are they called? PHAs.
That's polyaromatic hydrocarbon.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So if you can, that's basically resulted from high temperature cooking animal protein.
Right.
So
that's what you were saying. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what we talk. You know, if you cook at lower temperature, 250 and lower, so you definitely lower the risk of having that.
Okay.
Yes, polyaromatic.
And then what about if it says BPA free on the cans, is there still plastic lined inside the cans?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless it says in there, like, you know, totally claim, but you know, like to me, for even like the one in the carton, you know,
still plastic on the inside, right?
Yes, there's plastic on the inside still, and if it's tomatoes, yeah, it leach onto your tomatoes.
Yeah,
it's acidic. So get one in a bottle.
Bottle. Okay, that's it. That's the answer.
Yep, get the one in a bottle.
And then let's see. If I'm eliminating eggs, what source of protein for vegetarians?
Wow. Yes. I have studied nutrigenomics really deep, and the animal protein, that is the Methionine cycle, the animal protein is really, really important for you to even be able to produce glutathione, because that's to detox. Although my sister-in-law has been vegetarian for a long time and been consuming a lot of protein from plants, but I don't know if that's enough. So I
Yeah.
I have I know some people that used to be vegetarians or vegan, and they did not feel well, and when they added animal protein back, even just a little bit, they feel much better.
I agree. Even just bone broth is what I
Broth.
always say. Like
Yeah.
just broth, or even just get the vital proteins, collagen, peptides, and just do that.
Right.
Makes a big difference. But it's true, vegetarians just it's hard to get all the nutrition you need. I'm sure there's plenty of vegetarians that get pregnant, but I still probably worry about the health of that pregnancy. I mean, obviously they probably have healthy pregnancies carried to terms, but just that they're probably all nutrient deficient.
Mm-hmm.
And with beans and nuts, they need to be soaked. That's the bottom line, especially for a vegetarian.
Right.
Okay, so let me see. There's some other questions. Let's see. What about these BPA non-intent cans? Have you heard about these? I haven't heard. BPA non-intent cans that have recently hit shelves. What is that? I don't even know what that means.
Plastic, to me, if it's plastic, if you grab it and fill it, it's still plastic.
Yeah, don't eat it. End of story. Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm yawning. I hope it's not on me right now. Sorry, guys. I just yawned. I had a big yawn. I have this head cold, as you can probably tell if you know me. I sound very congested. So, okay, let's see. There was some other questions about magnesium oil, but Beth answered them. I use magnesium oil, and it's been amazing. Let's see. Do you recommend any specific type of supplement? And you probably still. What do you recommend from a magnesium perspective?
Oh, guys, I don't really have any specific brand, because it's all depends on the people. Some people like the oil. There's also like spray.
Yeah, that's what I recommend. That's the Ancient Minerals. I like that one, and it's a spray. Yeah, I do. And just even taking an Epsom salt bath, you get the magnesium sulfate that way. So I think that's another good way. Okay, let's see. Okay, are PAHs a problem with smoked fish as well? I mean, I would guess so, right? If it's store-bought.
Yeah, so we don't know what temperature that is.
We don't know what temp. So you have to either smoke it yourself or avoid it. Yeah. Or, I mean, moderation, of course. But yeah, it's, yeah, my husband smokes a lot of meat, which is part of the reason why I was even asking a question. It was somewhat selfish. But we always pretty much are like 225 or lower, and we always use the wood chips, the non-treated, or they're all natural wood, whatever. But yeah, you have to be very careful with all that. Okay, I think those are all our questions. Of course, if you guys have more questions, you could email Nita or myself, and we'll get them to Nita. But like she said, her program with these bonuses are only available for the next 24 hours. So if you are ready for a jump start to your fertility, I say jump in, do it. She's your girl. She's helped many, many, many women on their path to conception. And, I'm about to curse, but she really knows her shit. So, at least I prefaced it. I was about to curse. I'm a little off the cuff because I'm talking in my head right now.
That's all right. You're allowed.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I learned a ton. And thank you so much, Nita. It was so wonderful to have you.
I want to thank the audience. I don't know how many other people still following, but yes, thank you so much for being here. I know Amy, thank Amy, because she probably preferred to be in bed with a head cold, and
I love you guys, and all I want is for every one of you to have your dream baby. And so whatever we can do to propel that forward and as fast as possible and as healthy as possible. So I'm happy to be here. And thank you, Nita. But yeah, we love you guys, and we're glad you all stayed on.
All right.
So,
Yes. Thank you,
okay.
Amy.
Thank you, honey. All right, everyone, have a wonderful night. We'll see you.
Mm-hmm.
Ciao.